What's up everyone, ATRon here with another Hearthstone video. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the mirror match in Pirate Warrior. I've gotten a lot of questions and comments recently asking me, since I posted my previous guide on playing Pirate Warrior to Legend. So I wanted to address a few things, and I have some game footage that I pulled off. So we can check that out after this. But I just want to talk about a few things before we get into that. And the biggest thing that I would say, my biggest suggestion to anybody that's looking to improve their win rate in the mirror is to control the game. So it's a bit of a different play style than how the deck normally plays and how you normally want to play the deck. Because typically when you go against a control deck or a mid-range deck of a different class, you're looking to just hit their face as much as you possibly can. And take value trades where you can, or protect your minions and things like that. But typically you want to send a lot more of the damage to the face. In the mirror match, it's a lot different because you're actually looking to control out the game so that you can deal more damage because of that. Because both of your minions are squishy, they have low HP, so they're pretty easy to kill. You can get a lot of value trades that way, and then you can send more damage to the face and maximize your damage output to your opponent's face. If you can keep your minions alive and kill theirs. So one of the big things, using mortal strikes as removal, so you don't have to face tank things, and then it just kills off things like Frothing Berserker perfectly, or a Dread Corsair, or a Kor'kron Elite, or a Bloodsail Cultist, things like that. So using mortal strikes as removal, you should look to always pretty much do that. And then typically the thing is what you want to look at in the mirror, of whether or not you should kill a minion, is that first of all, how much damage is it dealing to you, and what do you have to expend to kill it if you were going to kill it? So let's say, for example, that you wanted to deal, let's say they have a Kor'kron Elite, which is a 4/3 minion, and it's going to hit you in the face. It just hit you in the face because it has charge, and it's going to hit you in the face next turn. So let's say you have a Fiery War Axe equipped. Well, you can kill that Kor'kron Elite, and that it will only have hit you twice. So the thing is that if you can determine, okay, if I kill this Kor'kron Elite, and I will have taken a total of 8 damage from it. And now let's say you ignored it, so then it's going to hit you in the face, that second time, as opposed to if you would have attacked it with your Fiery War Axe equipped. Then, if you leave it up again, then it's going to hit you 3 times, so it will have dealt a total of 12 damage. So perhaps it's better to have actually killed it and just taken the 8. But the game is a lot more control-based, and actually one of the really important things and significant things that's completely random, obviously Hearthstone's random with the draws and things like that, but is who actually gets the coin. Because from what I've noticed from personal experience, being on coin makes a huge difference in the mirror match. You are much more likely to win. Having that one extra card in a deck with no draws, plus, the style of play to win the mirror, you're looking to control out the game. So it gives you that extra resource. You get to react first. So somebody plays N'Zoth's First Mate, and then they get patches, shoots out of the cannon, comes onto the board, in their turn 1, and they're off coin, right? With the first turn of the whole game, and then they hit you in the face for 2 with the Rusty Hook and the patches. Then okay, they dealt 2 damage, but the person on the coin can then counterplay and play their own First Mate. They get patches, and perhaps they even play a Small Time Buccaneer or something like that, or a South Sea Deckhand, things like that. So that's a more powerful turn because they were on the coin. They were able to coin that extra 1 drop out. So that's a lot more powerful than the person that went first. And because it's more of a control-based game, having that extra resource, having the coin to accelerate your curve and accelerate how fast your cards hit the board makes a huge difference in the mirror match. So, obviously you can't control that. You can't control who gets the coin, but from personal experience, I can say I've won way more games on the coin than I have if I don't have the coin. I did do something kind of interesting in one of the games that I'm going to show you guys, right after we finish talking about this. And I was on stream, and I was playing some games in Pirate Warrior on EU because I already got Legend on NA. But anyway, I decided to try. I don't know how viable it is. I've only really tried it a few times, but it's worked every time I've done it. It's basically if you're off coin, even if you have a turn 1 play, maybe you don't play it, and then react to whatever they play. That way you can get the value trades and potentially kill their minions. So it might seem kind of weird, but it's worked for me so far. So I don't know. I don't have a ton of sample size to pull from, but I will say that every time I've done it, it's worked for me. So it's something you might want to consider in terms of strategy when you're trying to win in the mirror. If you are going first, if you're going second, then you just basically play out your hand. But usually they're going to play something on turn one, and then you can kill their stuff off, and then potentially push more damage to the face because of that. But yeah, that's basically it. You really just want to control the game as much as you can. Sir Finley is extremely good in the mirror. Usually look for Hunter Hero Power because just that 2 damage to the face, especially if you guys run out of resources with your cards, then that extra 2 damage is huge. It's either negating their armor gain, or if they play stuff, then they can't armor up as well, and they're taking the 2 damage. So things like that. Control out the game. Use your cards to remove their minions, and then look for that final push. If you ignore the minions, you're probably going to lose. I'm only going to show you guys 2 games. The first game is one that I did not play anything on turn 1, which I very well could have, but I chose not to, just to try out the strategy of doing it. And then the next game, my opponent did not trade with anything. He just ignored my minions, and he got blown out. So it's a perfect example of why you should control the game. But that's going to do it for me talking about it. So I'm going to take it over to the in-game footage right now. See you guys next time. Okay, so we're getting into the first game here, and I'm going to be commentating my thoughts and plays at the time that this was occurring. So this is a mirror match, and we are going first. So I'm debating whether or not keeping the cultist is worth it, because I do have the fiery war axe, and there's a pretty good chance we draw a 1-drop pirate. So you're gonna have the 2 small times. Patches technically. Obviously, you would rather draw something besides patches, but anyway. So debating keeping the cultist. Cultist is probably one of the best cards in the deck. And it's pretty solid in the mirror, 4 health minion. So I think ultimately I end up deciding to keep it because I'm pretty confident in drawing an early game pirate. And at the same time, I'm also debating, because I am off the coin and going first, that I think I might just skip my whole first turn altogether. So I have N'Zoth's First Mate here. I ended up top decking it, and just kind of debating if I should play it or not, because if I do, then he basically gets to clear up my minions how he chooses and pleases, and if I wait, then I can actually potentially do that next turn, as I could N'Zoth's First Mate and upgrade if he played Small Time, Buccaneer, something like that. So ultimately, I end up deciding to just pass the turn, and then this let him go onto the board first. This is a really interesting strategy I tried to employ, and it seems to have been working the couple times that I have done it. But like I said before, the pirate warrior on coin is always going to have an advantage in this matchup. So he decides to coin out Southsea Deckhand, and he plays N'Zoth's First Mate, and then Patches comes out of the deck, and then he doesn't attack with his weapon, he passes the turn. So I respond by playing my First Mate, and I end up killing off the Southsea Deckhand with face. This was actually a misplay. I should have used Patches to do that, because it would have taken 1 less damage. Since Patches was going to die anyway, I could have killed his Patches with my face, as opposed to you killing the Southsea Deckhand. So that was a misplay, but taking 1 extra damage there. But not that big a deal. One damage could decide the game, but typically it's decided by a few more damage than that. So I'm kind of debating whether upgrade is worth it here or not. I'm not really thinking so. Probably going to want to equip the axe next turn, or just potentially just play the cultist. And yeah, I end up deciding to just save the upgrade, potentially for the war axe, for something bigger, maybe a frothing, something like that. So he ends up double upgrading his weapons. This was a very, very aggressive move. Basically no respect for the ooze, and rightfully so, because he didn't have one. And he just goes face. So I think that he should have traded there, but he decided not to. My response was to play Small Time Buccaneer, and then I decided to armor up because I've taken a bit of damage so far, as opposed to playing the cultist. And I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I still have the rusty hook, as opposed to just breaking it really early, and then I pass the turn back to him. This ends up baiting out a weapon charge, the small-time Buccaneer that is, from his weapon, and then he follows it up with a pretty nice turn of a Dread Corsair and a Bloodsail Raider. So I actually have no way of killing off both of these minions this turn. There's actually no way to do it. So, debating what the best possible move is, and I believe I end up deciding that Bloodsail Cultist plus the upgrade is what I want to use to clear off the Dread Corsair. And then I just send N'Zoth's First Mate into face, because attacking the Bloodsail Raider doesn't do anything. It would take it to 2 health, but I don't have anything that's going to do 2 damage, so it doesn't matter. Like, I might as well just get the face damage in. I guess potentially you could have top deck like a South Sea or something, but anyway. So he plays South Sea Captain in his list, and I mean he decides to just send the 6 damage to the face, and just skip trading and just puts the pressure on. So he's dropped me down like pretty low, but it's really not like that big of a deal, because as you can see, he has 1 card left in his hand, and his weapon only has 2 charges left. So I face tank the South Sea Captain, and I end up dropping Cultist. I traded my Cultist into his Raider, and then I armor up because I'm kind of low on life. Only have 9 life left. So definitely one of the big things. I mean, in any mirror, luck matters more often than it would in any other type of match. So in this case, I'm just kind of hoping that he doesn't top deck damage, or lethal anyway. So he sets me down to 4 after he equips his Arcanet Reaper, and I'm able to armor up to put myself 1 health out of range. And I'm kind of just hoping that that last card of his is a blank, and I put the pressure on, and I actually set up a lethal of my own if he can't kill me this turn. So, he attacks face. He sets me to 1, and I mean this is somewhat lucky here. Like this is part of just being in the mirror, and I'm able to lethal him just by like what's on board plus Leroy, I believe, ends up being lethal. So basically, I mean, as you can see, like the real benefit of like the way I played that matchup was that I used my minions to trade efficiently and effectively, and because of that, I was able to take over the game. And then he kind of ran out of gas at the end, where like my minions were able to hit his face like 2 times over, and his were only able to hit me like typically like once. So in the end, I was able to burst him like a lot faster than he was able to burst me. Now we got another match. I ended up getting back-to-back mirror matches with when I was on this run here. And I was debating keeping Dread Corsair because it's pretty good in the mirror. And I've just been kind of testing some things out, but I decided to just mulligan it. If I had the Fiery War Axe, I probably would have kept it, but I didn't. I ended up drawing the Fiery War Axe, upgrade, and the Bloodsail Cultist. And we pick up an Ooze. This is huge. Like, you usually want to mulligan for the Ooze in the mirror match because it can just be such a huge swing. And you're about to see, like, why you probably should respect the Ooze, or at least attack, because I get a free kill on the Fiery War Axe here, and this is why the Ooze is in the deck, and they usually want to try to mulligan for the Ooze in the mirror, so, like that's enormous. Like, he's having to spend 2 cards to take care of 1, and he was, I believe he was on the coin, so, now I have initiative, because I managed to swing it back in my favor. I just played Frothing Berserker on curve. It was by far the best play. I could have equipped Fiery War Axe and upgraded it, but I would rather get the minion out there, because the Fiery War Axe can attack at, as soon as I equip it. Frothing Berserker, on the other hand, or any minion, most minions, aside from the ones that have charge, you have to, wait a turn to attack with them. So he follows up with Hobart into Small Time Buccaneer, and he doesn't have any weapon equipped. So there's a couple lines of play here, and I could have done like N'Zoth's First Mate and like Cultist, which in hindsight might have actually been the better play, but I end up going for Axe or Fiery War Axe into Raider. Like, they're both pretty solid, to be honest. I really just wanted to hit the like get an upgrade or the Cultist tick on the Fiery War Axe as opposed to the Rusty Hook. So Patches comes flying out and just kill off Hobart. Only take 1 damage on the Frothian Berserker here, so take a little bit extra damage to the face, but Frothian Berserker stays a bit healthier, so now it's a bit harder to remove the Frothian Berserker. Let's say he had a weapon here, and he played Salcy Deckhand, then the Salcy would be able to trade into it pretty nicely. But my Frothian has already gotten some insane value. Like, he killed off a minion for free. His health or his attack is like just skyrocketing, and then we've also dropped the Raider. And at this point, this game's pretty much over. Like, he didn't have any weapon, and I got a Raider off, and they're all able to attack. Frothian Berserker able to attack as well. Patches pushing more damage to the face, and you know, just multiple ticks of upgrades onto my weapon. So this game was a bit of a stomp, and not really much he could do. But I mean, but the biggest thing was like mulliganing to look for, you know, like the ooze even, and I just didn't get it like initially, but I drew it off the top, and you know, he got punished for playing the Fiery War Axe there. But that's basically it. So that's those are just some small examples of playing the mirror. So hopefully that helps you guys out, and thank you for watching. See you all next time.